Hello, David Paul here. Well, what's it about today? Well, I made an interesting discovery, and it's all about this stuff. Epsom salts. Epsom salts, which is magnesium sulphate. Highly soluble, and primarily the thing we're interested in it is the magnesium. Now, I was having a problem with my little trees here and getting this yellowing of the leaves. And I don't know what went wrong, well, I do know now, but at the time I just didn't know what the hell was going on. They were losing leaves like crazy. That one over there's got a few yellows on. This one I picked off all the yellow leaves and it's completely defoliated. And yet they are all alive. They're not dead. So there they are, all 10 of them. Some of them better than others, like this here. And this one here, and the one just tucked behind all this shrubbery here. So I had to think about it, and I did a bit of checking. I suspected that they were suffering from magnesium deficiency, and I thought, oh no, it couldn't just be that simple. I've been feeding them seaweed, I've been feeding them fish blood and bone. Surely that would be enough for them and they would be fine. Surely they couldn't be nutritionally deficient. That could not happen. And it actually literally could not happen. So I did some more checking, and I discovered that biochar. Well, no, I didn't discover this. I figured this out. I discovered that if you have an excess of potassium, it can trigger a deficiency of magnesium. So how could they have maybe got too much potassium? How could that be possible? Well, what I did is I was making biochar. Now, what happens when you make biochar? They contain a small amount of ash from like the combustion of the fire, especially if you're making it in a fire where some of it is getting burnt. So there's a bit of ash there. And what does the ash contain? A large amount of potassium. So there, it's building up this stuff. I'm making a lot of it. So there's my biochar in that bucket, and I'm putting it on my plants. And obviously what I've gone and done is I've accidentally overloaded the damn things with potassium. Now, what they tell you about biochar is you really must condition it first. So I would suggest that what you do is you incorporate it in a, well, I've got another treatment I've figured out as well. Incorporate it in a compost heap and like really mushed up with like really shitty, moldy, like proper organic material that's alive, and then get it conditioned and get all these sites, these chemical sites in the biochar filled and blanked off. Because primarily what you want out of the biochar is its structural behaviour. It's lighter, it causes a less compacted, more aerated soil, and provides a good medium for life to live in. Okay, so what happened? So obviously what's gone on is I've gone and overloaded the whole lot with potassium and then, created a crisis for them. So I went around all the chemist shops and I know what's needed is Epsom salts, magnesium sulphate. And I go around all the chemical suppliers and I cannot find anybody who's selling this stuff. They used to sell it at one time. It was a laxative, I think. And you use it as bath salts as well. So what I did is I went around all the pharmacies. None of them had it. So I Googled it on Tesco's website because I realised it's a component of, almost exclusively in some cases, bath salts. So Tesco, I get on a website and I find this stuff, which is just pure Epsom salts. They're very pretty crystals. They look like plastic when you tip them out. Just white like salt, but like a more glassy looking. So all you need is about a tablespoonful of this in 20 litres of water. Probably not even that. It's a micronutrient. We're talking parts per thousands, possibly even parts per million. But anyway, I get a spoonful of this, a teaspoon of it, and I bought this thing, a sprayer, and I mixed it up in here, and then I started spraying. And I sprayed and I sprayed, and I sprayed all of the plants, all of these plants, and I only did it last night. And I thought, well, we'll find a really good result out of this. So it'll be miraculous, surely, because it's what you call a limiting factor. It's holding all the plants back. Well, that was last night, and since last night, the leaves, this leaf here is really, really dark. You know, I sprayed them, and I also put some on the roots. Later on, I will give a proper drink to these plants. And I'll also give them some fertiliser as well. And if I can find my fish, blood and bone, I'll give them that as well. But they're managing, because the weather is like a bit overcast at the moment. We had a little bit of rain yesterday. So they're managing on the water uptake. They're not actually desperate for water as they were. I think they would like a bit more water, but they're doing okay. And these leaves are stiff and turgid. And the yellowing is going a bit, but this leaf here is probably damaged beyond repair. But these lower leaves are definitely in good condition. New leaves like this one are in terrific condition. And when they're in that state, they can photosynthesize. They can make food for the plant. And you need energy to do stuff, to fix carbon dioxide, make sugars, make plant material, make cellulose, make everything that you need. And in addition to that, you also need to grow roots, and you need energy to do that. So in that very short time, I've upped the photosynthesis of this plant like crazy. From last night, and we're like midday today, so we're talking probably about 12 hours ago, the plant, that is new growth. That shoot there is new growth. So there's an inch of new growth there. This one is breaking away. That's new growth. And it's just supercharged everything. And all of the plants that weren't too happy, they're showing tiny shoots, about 1/8 of an inch, 3/16 of an inch long. By the time I get back today, I'm going to the library to do some studying for an exam I've got to do. By the time I get back, I expect that these will have put on more growth. Or just maybe, I don't know, 1/16 to 1/8 of an inch extra on the buds. And that'll be that. Now, so, this got me thinking about the forest around me. And I have to put this to the test. And it's something that's going to be very easy to do as well. Because these plants are evergreen plants, and they're quite resistant to taking up foliar feeds. But all the other plants here are all deciduous stuff, which have an open leaf structure, and you can get stuff into them. So what I did is I started spraying everything. This here's a Russian vine, which is, you know, it's a garden escapee. It doesn't belong in this country, but it's here, and it's good cover for me. So I sprayed that, and all of that stuff seems to have appeared overnight. Because when these get moving, they really do get moving. And it seems to me that the limiting factor around here is possibly magnesium. So if I can get all these guys around here sprayed, I'm just going to walk around, and at man height level, man height level, I'm going to spray everything, because that's my cover. You only need to cover me. Like if the cover is higher than me, it's not necessary. You know, you're not trying to hide from helicopters. But if you spray everything, it'll start to burst into growth. And a test will be these nettles at this side here. There's plenty light here, and if I spray this lot, hopefully these guys will grow up. But these I have sprayed them last night, and they look a kind of a dark shiny green to me. This lot over here are really doing well. They seem to have benefited from it. Now, I One of the great camouflage plants for sites like this, or deterrent plant you might call it, and camouflage, is these things, which are thorns. They're blackberries. So these blackberries overnight have shot up, and I sprayed them. This one over here, I sprayed it, and it's much more vigorous. You can just see the upright, turgid look of it, you know, ready to march out and take over the world. And they're doing fine. Now, if I go over to this side, I did a bit of spraying over here, and likewise there are blackberries here. You can get complete thickets of these blackberries, which you want to encourage, because they're gonna take over anyway, but encourage them, and they form a sort of barrier to stop people getting in. So they're doing just great, and this is going to provide long-term protection for me. Although my cabin eventually will be, you'll be able to stand next to it and people won't even know it's there. It's going to be so well disguised. But anyway, these things here, they're growing like nuts now, and I put it down to the fact that I've been spraying them with magnesium. So I got a whole bag full of that stuff, and I'm gonna treat everything around here, because when the stuff gets loose in the environment, I talked about this in Portugal, the environment wants to steal your nutrients. So when it gets loose in the environment, the whole environment here will take off. I'm going to try and apply this principle in Portugal as well, and see if I can get the vegetation around my land there to grow greener and, you know, more luxuriant, particularly little oak trees that I want to grow. So there you go. Lots of that vine is up in that tree there. It's really completely blanked in now. This place is a solid wall of vegetation that you cannot see through, and I'm completely disguised. Unless somebody cares to come here and actually seek me out, I can't be seen from anywhere. So that's it. So give it a try. Get yourself some Epsom salts and spray. There's loads of stuff on the internet about what to do with it and the dosages and this, that and the other. But, you know, give it a go in your garden if you have a garden, and spray them all. See, look at all of this. This is all new stuff just since last night. Fabulous. So these guys will be taking up this magnesium, and presumably throughout this day they'll they'll be partying, particularly this Russian vine thing. I'm going to train it across here in an arch and blank this area off, so you won't be able to see the tent either, even from this direction. And then this area here I will clear up. I'm just using it as a work area at the minute, sawing wood and stuff. I'll clear this up, and then I'll go completely invisible, and that's that. So Jesus be with you.